Hello, beautifuls, and welcome back. It is so wonderful to be seen by your presence and your light today. So, let's talk about protection. Let's talk about psychic attacks, negative energy, all of the works, and consent and, sovereignty. We're really just gonna hone it in and ground it in, and I'm gonna share a little bit more on my perspective of this topic and what is really going on here in our world right now. I've been receiving a lot of messages from friends and from others of just this feeling of negativity that's just really overclouding the social media construct, right? That's really just all encompassing Instagram or a Facebook or whatever other social media platform that there is out there. And really just seeing it as more of a negative thing and feeling the need to pull back. I think this is wonderful. When you feel the need to pull back from something, pull back. That is your intuition speaking, if you don't feel good doing something, that's when you can take a step back and see what's really going on here, see what's going on within yourself. So I've been receiving a lot of these messages and I haven't necessarily been feeling it myself. However, I have not been able to post any light language or do any lives without any technical difficulties for a little bit, for a few months now. So I just don't do that on Instagram anymore. I'm planning on just sticking with my writing and my posts because I love writing anyway, and sticking with, sharing with you guys here on YouTube on this platform, which I absolutely love. It's just it's the perfect thing if you're looking to post some videos and connect and just share with people in that way. It's not as personal as maybe Instagram, where you can really see their stories and really get into their lives on a day-to-day basis, but I personally like it a lot better. But anyway, I haven't necessarily been feeling a lot of that negative energy directed towards me in general. So with that being said, I took some time to really just sit and see, okay, what's going on here? What's happening? Why is this happening? And just seeing that we are experiencing this spike and this rise in vibrational resonance of the actual Schumann resonance. The resonance here on Earth itself is rising to the point where the veil is very thin, okay? And this has been happening kind of randomly. Probably not randomly, you know what I mean, throughout the year and the years that have passed, okay? This is something that has been pretty regular, where we're experiencing these spikes, and that's when things are just really brushed up from the surface or from beneath us, and we are called to really just tune into this higher perspective and this point of alignment and centeredness within ourselves. So with that being said, the veil being thin, it makes it so much easier for us to see mirrors and reflections, to experience the darker energies at work here. And we really can see this as a blessing. We can see this as an opportunity for ourselves. So before I get into all of that, I just want to really talk about what a psychic attack actually is. Let me know in the comments down below if you have experienced this and what you have actually gained from it. What have you learned? What was the lesson, okay? Because there is a lesson. There is something to be healed and released within these experiences of psychic attacks. So a psychic attack is really just a fancy term for just negative energy directed at you, whether it be intentionally or not intentionally. And this is where a lot of us feel, especially in this more spiritual, ethereal realm that we're working in, especially leaders as well, we feel like we need to protect ourselves from the people watching, and we need to, make sure we have specific practices to protect ourselves. And the thing is here that I want to note is that if you truly are in your alignment, in your centeredness, in your true soul resonance, you are not going to be touched. You are not going to be penetrated by anything that is not of your vibrational match. So if you think about it, these psychic attacks and this negative energy that we're experiencing from other people or from more negative and darker energies and entities around us is really just an indication that there is something that we haven't noticed. There's something that we weren't fully aware of, or we didn't fully express and feel and heal and release within ourselves. And in this life or in any lifetime, there's something within the subconscious that's ready to come up. And really, these entities or these negative people or energies that are coming to us, they don't come to us because, they just want to attack us in a sense. It's because there's an actual point of attraction here. There's an actual vibrational resonance. There's a vibrational match to these actual energies. So what that tells us is that there is something being reflected, there is something being mirrored, whether it be jealousy or hatred or anger or, regret or revenge or anything like that is really just being reflected, because that means there's some type of shadow within us that is resonant to that energy. And this doesn't mean you're bad. There is no bad or good. This is just an opportunity. It's seeing these moments as opportunities for us to see, okay, where have I been more judgmental towards others, or maybe I'm being more judgmental towards myself in experiencing this psychic attack, in experiencing this person speaking to me in this way. What is going on here, and how can you take responsibility for that and move forward? Take responsibility for it, move forward, see how you can begin shifting that belief that you need to technically be protected in some way, and realize that nothing can touch you or come into your field without your consent. And this doesn't mean that you have not been doing a good job in your spiritual practices, not being in full alignment all the time. Like, who is in full alignment all the time? But it also comes down to your beliefs. Do you believe that you need to be protected from these? Do you believe that you could possibly in some way be susceptible to really being drawn in by a more negative entity, or just being all around these negative entities? And there are some of us out there that are literally here as light workers, meant to really hold that light sword and just almost shoo away all of these energies that are not meant to be there. Like, there are those of us that are there, and I honor you for doing this work and really working with and healing and really releasing these darker entities from the field of earth. But overall, really just seeing if you do have that belief where you think there is something that you need to be careful of, that there's something that could possibly penetrate you in any way that is not of your consent, because that's not true. And I think this is what really I started noticing about myself. I continued to really bring this into my field, that especially doing light language and channeling, I was like, nothing can come into my field without my consent. I am always protected. Me in my strength and in my power is really my protection. Simply you being who you are at your best is your protection. Even when you feel sad or any specific emotions that just make you feel a little bit smaller, you are still protected, and you are still powerful, and your energetic field and your angels and your spirit guides, your ancestors are still here, really holding you up, and the earth is constantly connected with you, holding you up as well. Deepen into that connection, deepen into this connection of truth, of your sovereignty, of your power, of how powerful you are, of a being to have a voice and to be able to just speak your intention, to say no and that be it. That's as simple as it can be. If you truly believe and trust in your own energy and your own being. And remember, you do not need to be at any certain level or place or whatever in order to not experience this, okay? But I'm just saying, when you truly are in your full alignment, you don't really experience this as much, and it's not as big of a deal as maybe some other people might make it. It's just not a big deal. It's just kind of a part of life, is to have these darker energies around. But guess what? You don't need to be afraid of them. You don't need to fear them or push them away in any way. All right? Just you being yourself and recognizing yourself within the matches and the experiences and the meetings and the connections that you have is a part of the healing. It's a part of this process of you being here on earth. So there is a level of responsibility that comes in this, and it's a level of you not necessarily bringing yourself down to this place of being a victim here, of thinking that you need that protection, or thinking that you're only feeling this way because of something else, and just putting all the blame on this entity or this energy or this person or this situation. No, a part of you said that it was okay. a part of you did, all right? And it could be subconscious. It could be an older part of you that really was actually, they just kind of allowed things to kind of happen to them in this way. And those parts of us may still be with us, and it's okay. No matter how much inner work or shadow work, whatever it is that you do for yourself, these parts of us may still come up every now and then. And these are just opportunities for us to reiterate our new true beliefs that really align with our higher selves, that align with this being of love that we truly are, and we're ready to embody and bring into this earth to create our heaven on earth reality. So what happens when we're really just resisting here by saying, I need to protect myself, I need to do this to protect myself, instead of strengthen you in this pure knowing that you are always protected, we start to create something to protect ourselves from, almost manifesting a negative energy to be mirrored, to be reflected back to us because we have this fear and this resistance pushing this away. The more that we push something away, the stronger it's going to come back and back and back to you. So it's really allowing your experience and trusting that, okay, I can actually do things with intention and not from a place of fear. This intention needs to come from love, right? It needs to come from this place where you know you are standing in your knowing that you are protected, that you are strong, and that nothing can penetrate you or come into your field without consent. So when you really anchor that in and you really connect with your own angels, your own team, your spiritual team, whoever it is that you love to connect with, the earth, right? You connect here. You have that extra support, that more energetic and spiritual support, and you begin to create that support and that creative, comfortable place for yourself. So when we experience these psychic attacks, we can often be really fatigued, we can be really tired, feeling very drained, we can be cold. Some of the time we may just like in the corners of our eyes see shadows and feel like something's like watching us. We may have more negative or obsessive thoughts or an obsessive emotion within us. We may feel like we just have bad luck in general, or nightmares, especially reoccurring nightmares with like the same kind of attacker or entity or being or person within them. We may just feel really out of character in general and just not like ourselves. You may also experience just not having a lot of clarity, feeling really foggy, feeling like it's hard to get up in that like higher perspective, or even just like around different parts of your room or any space, like you feel a more uncomfortable or uneasy and anxious feeling. So these are just some of many different things that we can experience when we are under a psychic attack, but just letting you know, like this could be anything at all, which is why I really just want to bring it back to discernment and you being aware of your own energy, being aware of what is real and true for you in the first place, and feeling secure in your own vision of your core beliefs and your core values and what is true for you. Because the more secure you can be in what is true for you and what it is that you're moving towards and embodying on a day-to-day basis, it becomes so much easier to just recognize what is actually going on. Like these symptoms could be anything, but when we experience this, we're not going to go say, oh, this is why I'm feeling this way. Like, no, here's my power. I can begin shifting this. I can begin taking care of myself in this way and actually addressing the negative energy, addressing it within myself as well, and addressing the entity in a way that really just shines light on it. That's what we can really do as light workers. We shine light on the situation, on the being, on the shadows within ourselves and outside of ourselves. And this light immediately reveals its truth and its purpose and its opportunity that it has for us in this time, allowing whatever unhealed aspect of ourselves or anyone around us to really just begin to release and dissolve back into source, into the sky, into the sun, the earth, the fire, right? To be transmuted and alchemized and return to center. And immediately we'll feel that shift. So like I said, it takes that awareness of yourself, but also this awareness of what this being, this person, or this entity may be, this energy itself may be. What is it reflecting and mirroring back to you? What is going on within yourself? What feels true to you? And what are you observing about this being, right? That's important, instead of pushing it away and protecting and just like, yes, take your time to smudge or cleanse with water in any way that you would like, to go ground in the earth and recenter yourself and your body, your mind, your spirit, and your emotional body. But also really take it from that place of just cleansing. You've cleansed yourself. Now begin to observe, begin to ask questions, ask yourself questions, see what's going on, to really rid of this energy that may not be yours in the first place. And maybe it is a part of you that needs to come up and be healed in a sense. And a lot of the time, what I've realized working with people where we are clearing these more negative energies, where they've had really bad nightmares, really like violent nightmares, and experiences where they feel a little uneasy and cold and really drained of energy because these psychic attacks, it's just like negative energy directed at you, focused at you. It's just, it's like sucking energy. It doesn't feel great, right? You don't feel like yourself. So in my experience of helping people really cleanse and clear and remove these entities from really just attaching, because that's what ends up happening. This energy attaches because it has a certain vibrational resonance with some aspect of you. So I realized that these were really just parts of their inner child that was really coming up, or even just parts of their shadows that they weren't addressing or they didn't feel comfortable addressing. And it was really just bringing that up for them. And once, my clients were able to really just begin to see it for what it was and not push it away or fear it, it became so much less scary in a sense to be able to actually confront and begin healing in this way. And it's just like that. It literally just works like that. So bringing your awareness to your shadows and any traumas or inner child wounds is really good. And it's important to have that awareness, to take responsibility and to move on, and to move forward and to have that clear vision of what it is that you are embodying, what is true for you. Like I said, I have been really focusing on not protecting from a place of fear, but protecting from a place of truth, from a place of honesty, right? From a place that is just natural. Because now I can walk around and know that nothing at all can touch me. I can have that level of detachment. And so can you. If you're experiencing that, that's totally okay. This is just an opportunity to begin healing and releasing and facing these fears and this resistance and these unhealed aspects of ourselves, our little shadows, our inner child, whatever it may be that is coming up, these feelings that are coming up. Because a lot of the time, the feeling that we feel is what we want to escape when we're feeling, like we're being watched, or like there's shadows around us, or we have this negative energy and these thoughts are coming up. We want to escape these obsessive thoughts. We want to escape the emotions in some way, thinking, they're not mine. If it's in your field, you need to take care of it. You need to be present with it and begin really tuning in to what is going on and what it may be connected to within yourself and outside of yourself. It can be so much easier for us to see outside of ourselves and be like, okay, this person is like, every time I hang out with them, it's really draining and I don't want to. It's like, okay, great. Now, what does that say about you? What is being reflected back? What are you experiencing when you're with them? What is this feeling? Have you felt it before? How can you tune in and tie that back to a moment where maybe you weren't allowed to really give this a name, or just be present with it in any way, or just an experience that you weren't fully present with, so it's still sticking with you to this day. So be aware of how you actually feel during these experiences of feeling this negative energy, and know that there is always support. There is always support from your angels that you can call upon, your spiritual family if you work with your ancestors of the highest light or any star beings. definitely call upon them. Call upon your team, okay? They are here to assist you, and each one of them really does have a gift for you. And tune into your heart and call upon Mother Earth as well. Utilizing the elements in cleansing practices has been my absolute favorite. Anytime that I need a refresh or just a cleanse, I really speak to the water, what is true and real for me, and I allow it to just really cleanse me and bring me back into center, back into union with myself, because that water really has that effect of just bringing it all back into center, into the center of my heart. Also the fire, just watching a flame is really, really helpful. Doing a candle gazing meditation. I know I've done a few, maybe just one actually in a yoga class. I have another one that I have, but it's super cleansing to just watch the flame and to give everything to the flame and let the flame really just ignite it and rebirth it and bring it and transmute it into something else. Laying on the earth as well. Really, the wind is so helpful. Just going outside intentionally with the wind, with your feet in the ground, and just let it wash over you, or even just making sounds and arm movements, because your body holds so much wisdom. It knows exactly what you need in that moment. So this light language that may come through could come through in some movement and some sounds that are really healing to your specific energetic makeup. Okay, so there's so many different ways that we can do this. Obviously, incense and smudging with sage or Palo Santo, cedar, just making sure it's from a very ethical source. I don't really suggest just going to any store and buying it. You want to go somewhere where you're ensuring that it's coming from a place that honors the land that it's coming from. Overall is really, really important. And a way that you can do that is just to make sure you're going to smaller places, or even just going out in nature and grabbing your own herbs, you know, that you want to work with, and making sure that you can not just take so many, but just a little bit, and ask the earth, ask for permission, you know, ask the plants and the herbs that you're using in that sense. And yeah, just being really mindful and of using herbs in general for your healing and your cleansing practices. Also crystals, I love using my clear quartz, and I also have a black tourmaline that's really helpful, but I don't necessarily like pick any that you know, are specifically for protection. I know there are. I'll just kind of like intuitively grab from my like table. I'll be like, okay, you guys are coming with me today. And I'll choose whether or not I want to like wear a skirt or something. And you know what you wear is also a really powerful way of protecting yourself as well. You want to feel good. You want to feel strong in what you're wearing. You want to feel like yourself. So when you are you know, dressed up and adorned in a way that feels empowering, which is going to be a huge thing for just protection overall, is when you feel empowered, like you are not powerless, okay? And there's no belief out there that you are powerless. And if you feel like you have this belief that you could fall victim to these experiences, these attacks, or that you are powerless in some way, thinking that you need to fear and push things away and protect from this place of fear and not necessarily from love, then that's another opportunity for you to begin reshaping and say, okay, where in my life have I felt powerless? Where in my life have I felt like a victim? And how can I begin healing this aspect of myself? How can I begin changing this story? Because it's a story that we've been telling ourselves, and it's something that our bodies and our minds really get used to playing out in our lives. And you know what? Our reality begins to play it out as well, bringing those different entities and those energies to us to assist us in really becoming this empowered being that is all powerful, you know, that necessarily doesn't even have to worry about it. And when it happens, it's like, oh wow, here's an experience. All right, here we go. So hopefully that makes sense. Please do let me know in the comments down below if not. But overall, yeah, adorn yourself in a way that feels empowering, and let yourself walk around feeling that way in practice. It may feel weird at first, just to be like, oh yeah, I'm a god, I'm a goddess, and I'm walking around the mall or like across the street or to the store. But it's like, it's worth it. If it makes you feel good and it makes you feel strong and it makes you feel like, I don't even gotta worry about what anyone else is thinking because this is me and this makes me feel good, be in that space, be in that vibration. It's everything, and it's so helpful for just allowing yourself to feel more free and more joy and to just be more present when you can start doing that for yourself and just getting, doing a little baby step here and there to create that comfort around other people, to be in your own energy. Because sometimes we'll be around people and it's completely like the opposite. We'll just turn into something else completely, or turn into someone else or an old version of ourselves when we're around family or certain friends or what have you. And it's like, okay, how can I begin breaking this cycle? And this is where we can begin taking those little baby steps, saying something maybe you normally wouldn't say, standing in a certain way or sitting in a certain way that you normally wouldn't, wearing something a little different, doing more of you and bringing just a little aspect by aspect of your true authentic self into these situations with your family or with anyone that you feel like you start to revert back to this older version of yourself. You really do have to train yourself. You really do need to practice. It takes that practice. It really, really does. And it takes that affirming of your true beliefs. And it takes you being aware and fully present with what arises for you. This is stuff like I say all the time, but it's like, this is how simple it really is when it comes to psychic attacks and protection and consent and sovereignty. It's really remembering, okay, what am I honoring? What am I embodying? What am I believing? What do you believe? What is really, really true for you? In these experiences, what are you learning? What have you learned? What are you experiencing? Really get down to it and start thinking about, okay, what is coming up for me, but also what is this attacker or whatever you want to call them, this being, really doing here? Are they defending themselves? Are you defending yourself from something that you don't even know is there? Or are you defending yourself and in turn that feels like an attack to someone else? Because that's a lot of the time with these psychic attacks, these more energetic attacks from other people, whether it be jealousy or, anger or whatever it may be, whatever emotion kind of comes up, people feel like they need to defend themselves from you because they think you're a certain way and they don't actually know you. You know what I mean? So this really says something about, your reaction really says a lot. Your response really says a lot about you and how you actually take these opportunities and these experiences and situations. So that is my rant on psychic attacks and protection and everything like that. Remember that really you have to give your consent to something being in your field, and the more aware that you can be and the more of a master that you can be of your own energy and just who you are, of your shadows, to recognize yourself and be self-aware in general, moving through life, doing whatever it is that you do here as this beautiful person that you are, the easier it will become to just not even worry about this stuff, like we don't even need to think about it because our vibrational resonance is just at this point where those things can't even touch us. We may see it, we could see it from afar, but it's not going to touch us. And we can catch it so much sooner and be so much more aware of it. And if you feel yourself aware of these experiences, like, yes, begin to tune in, begin to dive in and confront it. Be present with it, fully present. And this will really help you in taking that higher perspective and call on your support. Honestly, do it. Call in your support. Use the elements to assist you as well. And I am going to leave you guys here. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to hear any more about anything specific. I'm not going to be doing a light language activation or healing or clearing for this in general until I feel called to. And I'm not just yet. So I just wanted to share with you guys my thoughts and some just general things that I've noticed, and I've been hearing about what is going on right now with these psychic attacks and this negative energy that's around us. So please do let me know in the comments down below if this was helpful, if you would like to know anything else, or if you have any experiences and lessons or any, anything that came up for you that might be helpful to someone else. Please do pop it in the comments down below. I think it's so important that we just normalize it, not fear this too much, okay? And remember our power. Like, heck, we come from source and we're made of love, and this isn't us. It's just not us, you know what I mean? Like, we are so much more powerful than all of this negativity that are just literally constructs within our lives. It's not something that lasts. It's not something that's sustainable. What's sustainable is you. You are sustainable as this being of love, as this being of light, as this being of purpose, as the soul here, ready to enjoy and celebrate and live and heal in a way that is connected and powerful and true to who you are. All right. Love you all so much. Please like the video and subscribe if you aren't already. If you made it this far, and you're not subscribed to me, what's going on? All right, I will see you guys in another video. Have a beautiful, magical day. Sending you so much love. Mwah.